everyone, welcome back to the O-Cheap channel, the channel dedicated to all things cheap in the world of fragrances. In today's video, it's going to be very short. All I'm going to be doing is comparing and contrasting two fragrances. They're both from the same line, and the original has been a hype beast in the fragrance community and a staple really for all fragrance collectors, those who are expensive or cheap, for a while now, as being one of the best inexpensive vanilla-based fragrances you can get for the price you can usually find at. We're talking about none other than the one and only from Mercedes, and it is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. And this one is the Eau de Toilette, the original, the one that started all off and was the original hype beast and one of the most popular fragrances from Mercedes. And this was released back in 2017 and has stood on its own as being a very great quality cheapie, having nothing else to compare to in the line by itself. That is until last year when Mercedes decided, you know what, that one was so good, let's see if we can make it even better by upping the concentration and the strength, releasing this one here, the Mercedes-Benz Club Black Eau de Parfum. And looking at it, you can see it is really the exact same bottle. The only difference is it says Eau de Parfum on the bottom here in this metallic text, and on the side you can tell that it actually has a red colorization to the glass rather than the yellowish orange glass that the original Eau de Toilette had. But then the question comes about, which one is better? Did they really improve the Eau de Toilette by increasing the concentration? Did they change anything about it? And is it really worth the price with it being significantly more expensive than the original? Well, those are all the questions I'm hopefully going to answer in today's video by comparing and contrasting, showing you the similarities and the differences and which one you should own, or even if there is one that you should own more than the other one. Let's starting off with looking at the original here, the Eau de Toilette, the one that started it all off. But before we dive in, let's go ahead and get into the note breakdown, and then I will give you my wearing experience. The top note you have on this is bergamot. The middle notes are incense and jasmine, and the base notes are vanilla, benzoin, woodsy notes, and ambroxan. So immediately when you spray this on, you're gonna get a big hit and whiff of a very fresh citric bergamot note, just like it has in here, but it is very effervescent, almost sparkling. It is very light, airy, more so than you expect for something that has a, you know, the Club Black name on it, looking so dark. And definitely when you hear people say it's sweet vanilla, you don't expect it to have such a freshness in the opening. And there is a good bit of a freshy, musky ambroxan note that uplifts that bergamot and citrus. And then right behind it, you have a little bit of a floral nuance to it with that jasmine. It's something that's too feminine, nothing that's too noticeable, but it is a very light floral note. And then right behind that, you do have that incense note. Whether you spray a little or a lot, it is very noticeable. As it dries down into that middle, that incense really stands strong, a little smoky, but it's nothing that's too unconventional or hard to wear. It's actually very smooth, very light, but it's definitely noticeable. And of course, the more you spray, the more heavy that incense note will come out. And then deeper into that dry down, you get more of the ambers, that warmth, a slight woodiness, and of course that vanilla. And that vanilla note is not something that just comes out in the base note. It actually comes out immediately when you spray the fragrance on, but of course as it dries down, it comes out more and more, becoming more prominent and definitely more of the core of this fragrance. And with that dominant vanilla note and some of the florals and a little bit of that smoky woodsy factor to it, this actually has a strong similarity to Kayali's Vanilla 28, and even a lot of fragrances that are cloning that, like Cod Lodge's Ishal Vanilla. Very, very close. So this is something that may not be just masculine. I think this is actually a very good unisex fragrance. Guys or girls could wear it similarly, just the same with Kayali's Vanilla 28. I think guys or girls could wear that, but that may have a slight more floral leaning than this. This has a little more of that ambery, woody, smoky lean, but they are very, very close. And performance of this is actually really solid. It used to not be that well on me when I first got the fragrance. I sprayed it. It didn't seem like it lasted that long or projected that much. And maybe because it sat on my shelf for a little while, or my nose has gotten more sensitive and attuned to it. But I have noticed that it's gotten way better every time I've worn it through the years since I've had it. Really solid. It has a great projection for that first like hour or so. And longevity with this is probably right around that average mark, like right under the 6 hour mark, maybe more around 5 hours or so strong, but still not bad at all, especially for the quality you get out of this. Amazing vanilla quality, smells very photorealistic, way smoother than almost anything else you'll find, especially for this price point or anything around it. It smells well put together. I know Master Perfumer Olivia credited this, which is a testament to his skill, making something that's so inexpensive that smells amazing, almost niche style of quality. Definitely more suited for the cooler weather, probably more particularly fall and winter time, maybe in some of the cooler ends of spring, like at nighttime you can wear it, but probably way more suited for just those seasons. But absolutely solid, a great wear, great for date nights, maybe in some formal occasions as well, since it does dry down, being a little more, you know, like I said, smoky, woodsy, ambery, has a little more formality as it goes into that. And like I said, a workhorse in the fragrance community, especially the cheapie community, as being one that everyone says you have to get, and for a really good reason. But then the question comes about, how does it compare to the eau de parfum? Does changing the concentration actually make a difference? And did they just change concentration, or have they actually changed the structure itself? Well, let's go ahead and get into the note breakdown like we usually do, and then I'll get into the wearing experience. The top notes you have on this are elemi and Calabrian bergamot. Middle notes are vanilla, jasmine, and musk, and the base notes are myrrh, amberwood, and ambrox super. So immediately you notice that the note breakdown has changed. You don't have the incense note, instead you have myrrh. You don't have the woodsy notes, but instead you have amberwood. You have an added ambrox super, an added elemi note in the top, and that vanilla seems like it's a mid note rather than a base note, but trust me, vanilla is actually structured and functions like a base note no matter how you put it in the pyramid. But does that really change how this one comes across? Well, when you first spray this on, you're going to get hit with not as much citrus as the original, but you do get more of that elemi spike, almost spicy resinous quality, and a lot more of that vanilla in the opening, a little sweeter as well. And as it dries through, you get a little bit of that myrrh, but not as much of that incense quality like in the first one, but a lot more of that ambery warmth benzoin. Of course, it has ambrox super in there, so you do get a lot more ambers in this and more of the sweetness, especially as it dries down. You notice it settles a little more on the skin. It's a little thicker on the skin as well, and what you're left with mostly when it dries down is just a lot of warm ambers and sweet vanilla. So you start off with a tad bit of a resinous quality, dries down the middle with very light florals, but majority, all in all, you get way more of that vanilla note in there. And as far as performance, this definitely has way better longevity than the original. Maybe not as much projection, especially for that first initial part, but that is also due to the structure and the concentration change. So you do get more of a burst in the opening with the original, but way more longevity and a closer intimate wear with the eau de parfum concentration. And as far as seasonality, I definitely say that this is way more of nighttime use with this, especially in the cold of fall, especially winter, maybe spring cool nights, maybe a little too warm even for this, unless you're really in an air-conditioned place where it's even more cooler than the outside. But really, the cold of the cold is where this one will probably function the most, and where it's probably gonna be more suited for. However, with all that being said, how does that actually show the differences and similarities between the two? What makes them so different from each other, and which one is really worth the buy? Well, immediately what you can get, as far as what I can see between the two, is with the eau de toilette, you're gonna get way more of an opening that's fresh, brisk, that citrus, a lot more musky, and almost a lighter style of ambroxan. And you can definitely tell the changes from the top to the mid to the dry down, with more layers being exposed and more distinctive, especially as it gets to that mid, with those jasmine florals coming out and that incense especially being a lot more prominent and smoky than the eau de parfum. And as it gets into that base, you definitely notice more woodsy notes and a little bit of that benzoin warmth and ambers, when opposed to the eau de parfum. The eau de parfum really doesn't have all those layers that's distinctive between top, middle, and base. Mostly what you're getting is just a lot more vanilla, ambery sweetness, but that also plays into its strengths, being that this is way more of a sweet, deeper, rich vanilla rather than the eau de toilette. This definitely has more umph to it, more heft, more thickness to the vanilla, more substance, especially as it gets to that dry down. The ambers are more complex, a little more robust, and definitely hold your skin a lot longer, lending to the strengths of longevity on the eau de parfum rather than the eau de toilette. So all in all, the eau de toilette is a lighter, fresher version, and you get more noticeable layers and more complexity. When the eau de parfum, you don't get that complexity, you don't get those distinct layers, but you do get something that is richer, deeper in the sweetness and the vanilla, still the same quality of vanilla as the Eau de Toilette, but almost double the amount and definitely more rich, hefty, and noticeable with better longevity as far as that side of the performance. So if I had to categorize these, I actually think that the Eau de Toilette in comparison is actually more of a day or nighttime fragrance. So yes, you can wear this in the daytime. I have worn this in the daytime in fall and winter, especially when it gets in the cooler side of winter. I think this is more forgiving, especially since it has that extra bit of freshness that is more on the daytime side. And this one, the Eau de Parfum, is way more suited for nighttime. So what I've actually been able to do and have great success with is I will actually wear the Eau de Toilette in the daytime and wear the Eau de Parfum at night. And the dry down of the Eau de Toilette definitely lends it to a great transition and foundation for the Eau de Parfum to go right on top of. And it's a seamless blend from the EDT into the EDP. It just actually is a really good wearing experience going between the two. And I highly recommend that you try that out if you do have both of these. But that is my distinction between the two. I think both of them are fantastic, but do I think it's redundant to own both of them? Personally, as a collector and a perfectionist and one who's a completionist, I want to wear everything and have everything. I don't personally think so, but viewing it from a other consumer perspective, I would say maybe just a tad redundant, but really it depends on what you're looking at. Do you want a vanilla-based fragrance that's great for the price, especially looking at something you can wear for daytime or nighttime with a tad bit more versatility? In the cold weather, the EDT would be way better than the Eau de Parfum. But if you want the richest, the sweetest, and maybe the less complex, but you have definitely the depth and the heft to it that you want out of a cold weather, nighttime, date night, out and about style fragrance, then the Eau de Parfum would be a great one to go with. But really, as far as pricing, because as of now, the Eau de Toilette, because of the release of the Eau de Parfum, is definitely dropped in price, even less than what it used to be. And the Eau de Parfum still has yet to go down way more in price, where I think it's, you know what, you might as well get both of them. Really, for your best bang for buck, the Eau de Toilette is really the best one to go with. It's been a classic and the one that most people go to most of the time, almost every time. But if the Eau de Parfum does continue to drop in price over the years, maybe more flankers come out or Mercedes comes out with more things that overshadow this, then I definitely think the Eau de Parfum would be the next step up. If you already have the EDT and you want to have a extra step in depth and richness, the Eau de Parfum would be a great one to go with. But again, might need to wait for the price to go down. I did actually happen to buy mine from a fragrance outlet because they had a sale going on. I could buy one fragrance and get other one for a certain percentage off, and I went ahead and bought this one. But usually I would always shop online at a discounter that gave it a better price. But even then, I would wait just a tad bit longer for the price to go down lower. But if you really want one of these, until that time, the Eau de Toilette is a great one to go with. But again, that is not up to me, that is up to you. This is me just giving you the information. I'll leave it to you to make your own decision of which one you should buy. But that is my distinction between the two, and hopefully it gives you enough information to decide on your own which one you should go with. I personally really enjoy both of them, and in my mind, I have certain situations and occasions that I can separate. Well, I'm gonna wear this one this time and wear this one that time. I enjoy both of them. Both of them smell amazing. There's no decrease in quality from the EDT to the Eau de Parfum. It's just a difference in structure and wearability. If you ever get the chance to get any of them out and about, especially if they're for a really good price, mainly from online discounters, do not pass up the chance to get it, especially if only you've heard about it and you've never experienced it firsthand. I highly recommend that you find a way to go out and try it and then buy it cheaper online. But there you go, guys. That's my video on the subject. I know Ross from TLTG Reviews actually released this same video like a week or two ago, and I already had planned to make this video, so don't think that I'm just trying to copy him. I already had this out and about, and I haven't even watched this video because I didn't want to be skewed on my opinions, so hopefully, or maybe it lines up with his. But if not, hey, that's the name of the game. It's a subjective art, and we all have our own takes on it, but that's what makes it so unique and fun. But there you go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been educational and informative and helping you to make your next buying purchase and decision. But if this has helped you in any way, if you enjoyed watching this video and you want me to keep doing more of these compare and contrast videos with other fragrances out and about, let me know down in the comments below which ones you want to see next, and give me a like on the video and a thumbs up. Let me know that you did enjoy it and you want me to keep making this kind of content and making this hopefully a series to keep going on throughout this channel. And as usual, if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you've seen here or what you've seen elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you can see all the things that I'm working on and planning in the background to bring out to you guys for you all to watch and enjoy. I'd love for you to be rolling with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey, and hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And there you guys, that's all I have for today's video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.